Horrifying ending from dating app. Mystery behind dismembered body. In the quiet city of Bay City, Michigan, September 2023 brought a chilling reminder that danger can lurk behind even the most mundane modern conveniences. The disappearance and brutal murder of 41-year-old Justi Stillwell shook the community, exposing the dark side of online dating and the devastating consequences of misplaced trust. Justi Stillwell was reported missing by his colleagues on September 18th. Known for his reliability, Stillwell's failure to show up at work raised immediate concerns. Police launched an investigation, tracing his last known movements. Surveillance cameras in the neighborhood captured Stillwell leaving his home on September 14th. But his car never returned, and he vanished without a trace. Footage obtained from a neighbor's security system showed Stillwell departing from his Bay City home, likely heading to what he believed would be an ordinary date. Like millions of others navigating the modern dating landscape, Justi had turned to technology to seek connection, using the popular dating app Grindr. Tragically, he had no idea that this decision would lead to a deadly encounter. As police worked to unravel the mystery, a gruesome discovery came to light. A teenager stumbled upon dismembered body parts, including arms and legs, along the shoreline of the Saginaw River. The community's worst fears were confirmed when forensic analysis identified the remains as belonging to Justi Stillwell. This horrifying discovery marked the beginning of an intense investigation to uncover how this gentle man met such a devastating fate. As detectives began piecing together Justi's final movements, they learned from his handle that he had planned to seek out someone from Grindr, who used the nickname Board. This crucial information would prove to be the breakthrough investigators needed. Through careful analysis of digital footprints and location data from the dating app, authorities were able to track the mysterious Board to a residence in Bay City. The digital trail led them to Robert Tweedley Jr., 40, a man whose social media posts in the weeks leading up to the murder were later examined for signs of his deteriorating mental state. What they would discover at his home would reveal the full extent of the horror that had taken place within its walls. On September 25th, with the help of a search warrant, Michigan State Police entered Tweedley's home. Body camera footage captured the tense moments as tactical teams secured the home, arresting Tweedley without incident. Inside the home, officers were confronted with evidence of a violent attack, including signs of a possible assault and tools. The operation was carried out with military precision, with officers securing each room in the home in a methodical manner, starting in the garage and proceeding to search the building. Inside, they found enough evidence to piece together the violent events that had occurred 10 days earlier. The suspect was arrested without incident, but the real horror lay in the details he would soon reveal to investigators. According to the police report, Tweedley's account of the events painted a picture of targeted violence masked by the promise of connection. He admitted that Justi had indeed come to his home on September 14th, but the conversation became increasingly heated and led to tragedy. When Justi expressed a desire to leave shortly after arriving, Tweedley's response was brutal. He pushed the victim down the basement stairs and proceeded to choke him to death. What happened next showed a level of calculation beyond measure. Realizing that he needed to pick up the body and that he could not pass it off as his own, Tweedley made 2 special trips to Walmart. The first time he bought a belt, which proved insufficient for his purpose. The next day, Dan returned to buy a block and bag, the tools Dan would use to carry out the unthinkable. In a calculated effort to conceal his crime, Tweedley dismembered Justi and the parts of her body in various locations in Bay City. The legs and arms were thrown into the Saginaw River, while the head and body were dug up near the boat ramp. This was done to conceal the crime from the premeditated level adjusters who would later issue anti-reconciliation reports. As details of the project were revealed, information about Tweedley's mental state was also released. His social media activity revealed many unusual posts in the weeks leading up to the incident. Tweedley's attorney requested a psychological evaluation, citing a history of mental illness. This evaluation would determine whether Tweedley was competent to stand trial and could influence the resolution process. Even more alarming were the killer's posts after the lawsuit. On September 15th, just one day after being charged with Justi's murder, Tweedledee wrote on Facebook under an alias, "I'm so tired. Can't sleep at night. I cleaned the house today. I started cleaning again. Just made sure I have the right cleaning supplies, lol." The darkness of this post would be. The dark irony of this post only became apparent after his arrest. Just 2 days before his arrest, he had made another post declaring that he was committing my life to God. Former FBI agent Colin Schmidt, in analyzing the case, pointed out a number of troubling aspects that suggested this may not have been Tweedledee's first violent act. The level of violence and the personal nature of the killing. Strangulation required close physical contact and sustained force, suggested a possible comfort with violent behavior that could point to previous incidents. The method of killing was particularly intriguing to investigators. Strangulation is considered an intimate form of killing, often indicating intense anger or, more worryingly, some form of satisfaction derived from the act. The personal nature of the murder, combined with the calculated steps taken to dispose of the body, paints a picture of an offender who may have preyed on his victims through a dating app. The case has sparked widespread discussion about the dangers of online dating apps. Grindr, like many other apps, facilitates connection but also poses risks, especially when users can remain anonymous. Experts have stressed the importance of taking precautions when meeting strangers online, such as meeting in public places and sharing plans with family or friends. Former FBI agent Colin Schmidt shared his perspective on the case, highlighting the challenges of investigating crimes involving digital platforms. He noted that location data and digital footprints are important tools for identifying suspects, and warned that dating apps can be exploited by those with bad intentions. Robert Tweedledee Jr. Tweedledee is currently facing multiple charges, including murder, dismemberment, and disfigurement. Tweedledee remains in custody at the Bay County Jail on $1 million bail. His attorney's request for a psychological evaluation could delay proceedings for weeks or months. But the overwhelming evidence, including his own confession and the digital footprint left by the Grindr app, makes a trial unlikely unless the death penalty becomes a factor. The murder of Justice Stillwell is a tragic reminder of the vulnerabilities we face in an increasingly digital world. His death has sparked important conversations about online dating safety, mental health resources, and the balance between connection and caution in the modern age. In Bay City, the case has left an indelible mark on the community. Local support groups have organized dating app safety workshops, and mental health advocates have called for continued improvements in access to mental health services. While these initiatives cannot undo the tragedy that befell Justice Stillwell, they represent a community commitment to preventing similar incidents in the future. The cases of Justice Stillwell and Robert Tweedledee are a sobering reminder of the dangers that can lurk in seemingly innocent online interactions. They highlight the importance of taking precautions when meeting strangers online, the need for better mental health resources, and the vital role that digital evidence plays in modern criminal investigations.